Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Akram and you're watching Knowledge 360. In the previous video, we discussed about where clause in PostgreSQL database, and in this video, we'll discuss about group by and having clauses in PostgreSQL. This is another video of the series queries in PostgreSQL. So the group by clause groups records with the same value in specified columns, and this is often used with aggregate functions. And the having clause filters grouped results. This works similar to where clause, but it works on the grouped result. So we'll see them with examples. So for that, first let's set up the example. We create one table called employees, and then we insert some data, and also we create orders table and we insert some data into the orders table. Example setup is done. Now let's see examples. So first we see examples of group by. So in the first example we are trying to get the total expenses department wise. So in this case what we are trying to do, we are trying to get the department column in the result set, and we are grouping the data on the basis of department, and we are taking the sum of the salary value. So what is the salary we are paying to each employee department wise. So let's execute this query. So here we can see that we have three departments, and each department we are paying this much amount. So this is one example of group by clause. Now let's see another example of group by clause where we are taking data from orders table and we are trying to get the product and the total revenue generated by each product. So for that, what we are trying to do is we are trying to get the product column in the result set, and we are grouping the data on the basis of product column. So in this query we'll get the product name and the total revenue generated from that product. So let's query. So here we get that we have three records: smartphone, tablet and laptop, and each of products revenue generated. So this is how we do the group by. And in the next example we will see group by on multiple columns. This is an advanced level of group by. So it is possible to perform the group by on multiple columns, and it is to be noted that whenever we do the group by on multiple columns, the sequence of this column list doesn't matter. It will still give the same result set if we change or exchange the column positions. And one more thing you need to remember for a better result. So whatever columns we select in the select list except the aggregate functions, we need to mention them in the group by clause. So let's perform this query and see the result. So in this query we are trying to get the department and salary and the count of employees. So that means in each department with the same salary how many employees are working. See the data. So here we can see that in IT department with this particular salary there is one employee, in finance one employee, and in HR with the same salary there are two employees, and in IT with this salary there is one employee. So this is how we do the group by on multiple columns. Now let's see examples of having clause. So if you remember, when we performed this group by, we got the result like this: department wise expenses. But we want a further filter that says the total salary expenses should be greater than this amount, so that we can perform another level of filtration. So in this case, if we check the data, this doesn't satisfy the condition, this IT department satisfy the condition, and HR department also doesn't satisfy the condition because this is not greater than the value mentioned. So if we add the having clause here, so we'll do the further filtration and only one record will be returned. So let's execute this query. See, only one record is returned with IT department. So that means the having clause works on the grouped data. So that means whatever aggregate functions we use like sum, count, average and so on. So on that function, having clause works with the group by. So now let's see another example of having clause. So in this case we are trying to get the product with the total revenue, but the condition is the total revenue should be greater than 1500. So let's execute and see if how many records satisfy this condition. So there are two records that satisfy the condition. If we remove the having clause and we execute the query, we can see there are three records. So with having clause and with this condition, this tablet record doesn't satisfy. So that means whenever we add the having clause with the total revenue, so the revenue greater than 1500 is excluded because the tablet is not satisfying the record. So this is how we use the group by and having clause. So in this video we learned about group by, how it summarizes the data efficiently, and also we saw that how having clause filters further data on the grouped results. So these techniques are widely used in reporting and data analysis. So this is all about group by and having clauses in PostgreSQL. If the video was helpful, do like the video and subscribe the channel to get the notifications for upcoming videos. So in the next video we'll cover the topic of grouping sets, cube and rollup in PostgreSQL, which are advanced features of group by and having clauses in PostgreSQL. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye.